G'day from down under, Australia, the land of kangaroos and koalas. But did you know it's also a place where guests are invited to have fun with the host's wife? Stick around to find out more. We're diving deep into the heart of Australia to uncover some of the craziest, most unbelievable facts that'll leave you speechless. From epic battles against birds to creatures straight out of your nightmares, this is the side of Australia they don't show you in the tourist brochures. First up, we're going back in time to 1932, a year that would go down in history for one of the most bizarre military operations ever recorded. Picture this, the Australian outback, sun beating down relentlessly, and a group of soldiers standing in the scorching heat, armed to the teeth, but not against humans. No, these soldiers were preparing for a battle unlike any other. Their enemy? A bunch of emus. Yes, you heard that right, emus. These large, flightless birds were causing chaos. These birds were massive, standing up to 6 feet tall, and they were wreaking havoc on farmers' crops. The emus had migrated inland after their breeding season, and they found the farmers' wheat fields to be a perfect feeding ground. The government decided to call in the big guns, literally. They deployed soldiers armed with machine guns to take down these feathered foes. The soldiers were led by Major G.P.W. Meredith of the 7th Heavy Battery of the Royal Australian Artillery. You might be thinking, how bad could it have been? Well, let's just say the emus won that war. Despite their best efforts, the soldiers found it nearly impossible to take down the emus. The birds were fast, agile, and surprisingly resilient. They outsmarted the soldiers, dodged bullets like Neo in the Matrix, and lived to see another day. The emus would scatter in all directions, making it difficult for the soldiers to aim and fire effectively. It's a story that sounds absolutely bonkers, but it's 100% true. Australia, you never fail to amaze us. The Great Emu War, as it came to be known, ended in failure for the military. The emus had won, and the soldiers were left to retreat, defeated by a flock of birds. This bizarre chapter in history serves as a reminder of the unpredictable and often humorous nature of life. If you thought giant warmongering emus were scary, wait till you hear about this next one. Australia is known for its unique and sometimes terrifying wildlife, and the drop bear is no exception. Imagine this. You're trekking through the lush Australian rainforest, sunlight dappling through the leaves, when suddenly, BAM! A furry, clawed creature drops onto you from the canopy above. This, my friends, is the stuff of nightmares, and Australians love to prank unsuspecting tourists with tales of these mythical beasts. But here's the catch. Drop bears aren't real. Australians just love a good laugh. And what's funnier than convincing someone that a cuddly koala's evil cousin is lurking in the trees? Alright, time for a little break from all the scary stuff. Let's talk about something a little less terrifying but equally as polarizing: Vegemite. This dark, salty spread is practically an Australian institution. But let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. Seriously, this stuff is potent. It's made from leftover brewer's yeast, and it has a taste that's, well, let's just say it's acquired. Australians grow up eating it on toast, sandwiches, crackers, you name it. But for the uninitiated, it can be a bit of a shock to the system. Speaking of things that are a bit rough around the edges, let's talk about the Nullarbor Plain. This isn't just any ordinary desert. It's a place that truly tests the limits of human endurance and the resilience of nature. This massive expanse of desert in southern Australia is one of the flattest, driest, and most desolate places on Earth. Stretching over 200,000 square kilometers, it's a landscape that seems to go on forever, with no end in sight. It's so vast and empty that it's actually got null and arbor in its name, which basically means no trees. Imagine a place where the horizon is an unbroken line, and the sky meets the earth in a seamless blend of blue and brown. I mean, it's not called the Nullarbor for nothing. The name itself is a testament to its stark, treeless expanse. We're talking about a place so flat you can see the curvature of the earth. The sheer flatness of the terrain is almost surreal, making you feel like you're on another planet. So vast that it makes the Sahara Desert look like a sandbox. The Nullarbor Plain is not just a desert. It's an ocean of land, stretching out in every direction. And so quiet that you can literally hear your own heartbeat. The silence is profound, almost deafening, offering a rare opportunity to experience true solitude. It's the kind of place where you can drive for hours without seeing a single sign of civilization. The roads are long and straight, cutting through the barren landscape like a knife through butter. As the sun sets, the desert transforms into a canvas of colors, with shadows stretching across the plain, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. The beauty of the Nullarbor Plain lies in its simplicity and its ability to make you feel small in the grand scheme of things. And when night falls, the sky lights up with a million stars, offering a breathtaking view of the Milky Way. It's a reminder of the vastness of the universe and our tiny place within it. Despite its harsh conditions, the Nullarbor Plain is home to a surprising variety of life. Resilient plants and hardy animals have adapted to survive in this extreme environment, showcasing the incredible adaptability of nature. From kangaroos to emus, the wildlife here is as tough as the land itself. Each creature has its own unique way of thriving in this seemingly inhospitable place. And let's not forget the stunning coastline of the Great Australian Bight, where the Nullarbor meets the ocean in a dramatic display of cliffs and waves. It's a stark contrast to the flat, arid interior, adding another layer of beauty to this remarkable region. For those who seek adventure and solitude, the Nullarbor Plain offers an unparalleled experience. Camping under the stars, with nothing but the vast desert around you, is an experience that stays with you forever. As the new day dawns, the desert comes alive with the promise of another day of exploration and discovery. The Nullarbor Plain is a place where nothing exists, yet it offers everything to those who are willing to look beyond the surface. Now, let's dive back into the world of Australian creatures that can kill you. Because why not? This time, we're heading into the ocean, where danger lurks beneath the waves in the form of the box jellyfish. This isn't your average run-of-the-mill jellyfish. Oh no, this thing is practically invisible in the water, and its venom is so potent that it can stop your heart in minutes. We're talking excruciating pain, skin that feels like it's on fire, and if you're not careful, a one-way ticket to the pearly gates. So yeah, if you're ever swimming in Australian waters, especially up north, be sure to wear a stinger suit. Now, have you ever heard of a fence so long it could stretch across an entire country? Imagine a barrier so extensive it spans the horizon as far as the eye can see. Well, Australia's got one, and it was built to keep out rabbits. You see, back in the day, some bright spark thought it would be a good idea to bring a few rabbits over to Australia. They were introduced for hunting purposes, but little did they know, these rabbits would become a monumental problem. Problem was, those rabbits, they liked it a little too much. The Australian environment, with its mild winters and abundant food supply, was perfect for them. They multiplied like, well, rabbits. In no time, their numbers exploded, and they spread across the continent at an alarming rate. And pretty soon, these fluffy little creatures were hopping all over the place, munching their way through crops and wreaking havoc on the ecosystem. They devoured everything in sight, leaving barren fields and devastated landscapes in their wake. So what did the Australians do? They built a fence, but not just any fence. This was a massive undertaking, a colossal project that required immense resources and manpower. A really long fence, stretching across the vast outback. It was an engineering marvel of its time, like over 1,100 miles long. To put that into perspective, that's longer than the distance from New York to Miami. They called it the rabbit-proof fence, and it was supposed to keep the furry invaders at bay. The idea was simple: create a barrier that rabbits couldn't cross, protecting the fertile lands and crops from their insatiable appetites. The construction of the fence was no small feat. Workers toiled under the scorching sun, battling the harsh conditions of the Australian outback. They laid down miles of wire mesh, installed countless fence posts, and created gates and checkpoints to maintain the barrier. It was a monumental effort, involving thousands of laborers and taking several years to complete. The fence stood as a testament to human ingenuity and determination. But did it work? Well, the fence did slow down the rabbit invasion, but it wasn't foolproof. Rabbits found ways to burrow under or squeeze through gaps, and the battle against these relentless creatures continued. Today, remnants of the rabbit-proof fence still stand, a reminder of Australia's ongoing struggle with invasive species. It's a fascinating chapter in the country's history, showcasing the lengths to which people will go to protect their land and livelihoods. So, next time you hear about a fence, remember the rabbit-proof fence of Australia. It's not just a barrier, it's a symbol of resilience and the never-ending battle between humans and nature. Okay, enough about deadly creatures and fences that don't work. Let's take a moment to appreciate something truly beautiful. Australia's pink lakes. You heard that right, pink lakes? Imagine a lake that looks like a giant strawberry milkshake or a scene straight out of a cotton candy dream. These vibrant bodies of water get their unique color from a combination of algae, bacteria, and high salt content. The result is a surreal landscape that looks like it was plucked straight out of a Dr. Seuss book. And the best part? You can actually swim in some of them. Just imagine floating in a giant pink bathtub, surrounded by nothing but sunshine and the sound of silence. Now, for those of you who thought worms were harmless little creatures, think again, because Australia is home to giant earthworms that can grow up to 6 feet long. That's right, 6 feet. These aren't your average garden variety worms, folks. These are massive, slimy, wriggling tubes of earth-moving muscle. They live deep underground in the wet clay soils of Victoria, and they're rarely seen above ground. Remember that really long fence they built to keep out the rabbits? Well, it turns out it had another purpose, keeping dingoes out. You see, dingoes are wild dogs that roam the outback, and they have a bit of a taste for sheep. So, the farmers decided to extend the rabbit-proof fence to keep the dingoes out of their pastures and protect their livestock. They called it the dingo fence, and it's even longer than the original rabbit fence. We're talking over 3,400 miles of fence, stretching from the east coast of Australia all the way to the Nullarbor Plain. Alright, let's head down to the island state of Tasmania, where we encounter another iconic Australian animal, the Tasmanian devil. Now, these guys have a bit of a reputation for being, well, devils. They're known for their ferocious temperament, their blood-curdling screams, and their tendency to eat pretty much anything they can get their paws on. But are they really as scary as they seem? Well, the truth is, Tasmanian devils are actually quite shy and reclusive. They're only about the size of a small dog, and they're more likely to run away from you than attack you. Speaking of unique Tasmanian creatures, let's talk about the platypus, the animal that looks like someone took a duck, a beaver, and an otter, threw them in a blender, and hit pulse. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. It's got a duck's bill, a beaver's tail, webbed feet, lays eggs, but also produces milk. It's like nature couldn't decide what it wanted it to be, so it just went with all of the above. And if that wasn't weird enough, platypuses are also venomous. Well, the males are anyway. They have venomous spurs on their hind legs that can deliver a painful sting to any would-be attackers. Now, let's head back to the mainland and explore the breathtaking Blue Mountains, located just a short drive from Sydney. These ancient mountains get their name from the blue haze that hangs in the air, created by the millions of eucalyptus trees that cover the slopes. The haze is caused by tiny droplets of eucalyptus oil released into the atmosphere, scattering sunlight and creating a blue hue. It's a truly magical sight to behold, especially at sunrise and sunset, when the colors are at their most vibrant. But the Blue Mountains are more than just a pretty face. They're also home to towering sandstone cliffs, cascading waterfalls, and lush rainforest valleys. Alright, it's time to circle back to that strange fact I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Deep in the heart of the Australian outback, there's an Aboriginal tribe with a custom that's sure to raise a few eyebrows. When a guest arrives at their village, it's considered a sign of respect for the host to offer his wife to the guest for the night. Now, before you get any ideas, it's important to note that this custom is not as common as it once was, and it's mostly practiced in very remote communities. From epic emu wars to giant earthworms and pink lakes, Australia is a land of endless surprises. We've explored some of the strangest, most unbelievable facts about this incredible country. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to book a flight. If you enjoyed these strange facts about Australia, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more mind-blowing content. And hey, if you're feeling brave, let me know in the comments which fact you found the most shocking. See you in the next video.